Okay, so you all always ask me, what is the deal with cash offers? Why would you accept a cash offer versus putting it on the open market? Most of the times it's because if you are facing foreclosure, you don't want the smear on your credit. You just want to get rid of the property and be done with it. 9 times out of 10, if you haven't been making the payments, you can't make the payments, you might be going through a divorce, you might have lost your job. Um, so many different scenarios could be for going into foreclosure. You're going to lose the property anyway, so why not have someone buy it, take it off your hands? They're going to pay the remaining balance on it. You get to walk away. Your balance is paid, and now you're completely out of debt. Sometimes you might get money back from the deal. It just depends on what needs to be done. But usually, if you're behind on payments, then there's usually going to be deferred maintenance on the property as well. You might need a new roof or a new HVAC system. You could have water damage. Whatever was going wrong with the property, 9 times out of 10, if you couldn't pay the taxes, you couldn't pay your mortgage, you're probably not keeping the property up as well. And there could be deferred maintenance that needs to be done on the property. So an investor will pay off your remaining loan. 9 times out of 10, they're going to flip it. They're going to go to closing with you, pay off your remaining debt. And if there is room for them to make a profit, then that's what they're looking for. So, in other words, okay, yes, they're going to pay off your loan. They're going to put the work into it. So, they're going to be calculating all of that. So, they're not just going to buy a property, there has to be a margin of profit in it for them, has to make sense. The numbers have to make sense. So, they're willing to pay off your loan, and then they're going to put the money into it to fix it up, and they know they can make a profit by selling it. So that is how they make the profit on your house. That's why it's beneficial for them to go ahead and pay you cash. It's beneficial for you as the homeowner because now you don't have the smudge of the foreclosure on your credit. You were going to lose the property anyway, so they're going to just take it off your hands. Sometimes you might get money out of the deal. There might be room in the spread for the investor to say, hey, um, maybe give you a couple of thousand for, just your worries or for you to go ahead, maybe to get started somewhere else. It all just depends. Now, in my experience, I've usually gotten properties where someone died in the family. They didn't want the extra hassle of another house. They weren't going to do anything with it. They had no use for it. No one in the family wanted it. So they come to me. And in my instance, I am paying cash for the property, or one of my investors is paying cash for the property. We're taking it off their hands. Um, just a scenario that I had. They wanted to get rid of the property. It was left to the family. They did not want it, and there was so much stuff in the house. I told them, whatever you don't want to remove from the house, just leave it. Now, where it's beneficial for them is they didn't have to wait 30 days. Once I signed that contract, we went to closing in 2 weeks, and I had the money. I paid cash for the property, and that's why it's beneficial to the homeowners. When an investor is willing to take a property off your hands, you don't have to wait for someone to list your home. There is not a real estate agent involved most times. So, as the homeowner, you don't have to worry about closing costs. In my case, I pay the closing costs for the properties that I buy. If I'm paying cash for it, that means that you come to settlement. I am taking care of the closing costs. I am paying off your debt. You don't have to do anything but um, just come sign over the property, wash your hands of it, and you're done. Now, in this instance, in this one scenario, the family actually did get money back out of the deal when we went to close because there was equity in the property, and they did end up getting um, a check at settlement when everything was done. And so after that, I did flip the property. I put it back on the market, but it's beneficial to the homeowner in several different ways. Uh, One, you don't have to worry about the closing costs. Now, if you are a homeowner and an investor is telling you that they will pay cash for your property, I feel because I've done it in my deals, the way that I write my contract, I'm paying for all the closing costs. It only makes sense, and that's why it's beneficial to a homeowner because you don't have to worry about paying an agent. Yes, I am a real estate agent, but when I am doing an investment deal, wholesaling it or just buying it myself, there's no, we're not listing it. I'm going to pay cash for the property. We're going to go to settlement in 2 weeks. We go to settlement. We're not listing it. We're not putting a sign in the yard. Um, it's that simple, literally that simple. No closing costs to you. I'm paying all the closing costs. It's beneficial to the homeowner because you come to closing and just really wash your hands of the deal. And in instances, sometimes the homeowner will get something at the table. It could be a couple of $1,000s. It might not be anything. It just depends on how much debt has been accumulated with the property over the span of time where the homeowner has not been paying. Um, and sometimes, they do own the property outright and it's just been left to them and they don't know what to do with the property. The property is more of a burden. Like I said, in one of the cases that I did, I told them to leave everything that they didn't want in the property, and I had no idea that they would leave a house full of stuff. I have to post the pictures of that one day, but it cost me, I think, like what, maybe $5,000 to clean out the house, or dumpster after dumpster to come to the property and haul stuff away. But that's the benefit of having an investor buy your property. Now, if you're on the other side where, hey, maybe, you are distressed and you've gotten a notice of default and you didn't get your foreclosure notice yet, but you know that you're not going to be able to pay. You're going to, maybe you know the writing's on the wall. You're about to lose your job. Things are just tight. You've fallen on hard times. Maybe you do want to try to sell it on the open market where the home is in good repair. The maintenance has been done. It is picture worthy so that you can put it on the MLS. You want to go with an agent. But just remember, when you do that, you're selling your home, but you're going to have closing costs. You're going to have to pay an agent whatever percentage that you come up with, whatever that is, whatever you all agree upon, all of that is going to be deducted at the settlement table from what you get. So you do have to run the numbers, run the numbers yourself. You can go online, figure out how much are you going to lose if you put it on the open market versus if you were just to get a cash offer. People always say, well, I'm not just going to give my house away. But most of you are, you're going to lose your house anyway. So it makes sense to just go ahead and if you're in that boat, just let an investor buy it from you, take it off your hands, you walk away, you don't have the foreclosure on your credit, and you can just be done with the house. Or if you're in, the scenario like with my homeowners where it was an inherited property, full equity in the house. I did cash them a check at settlement. They went off. They were happy. Um, They got cash back out of the deal. I went on to flip the property, and that was that. So that's how a cash offer works. That is why it's beneficial to some homeowners to just go that route rather than waiting to list it, put it on the market, go through an agent, worry about home inspections, appraisals, um, all of that, and you're looking at maybe a month or two down the road, and then you still have to have all of your closing costs deducted from the price that you're getting, plus the commissions. So just remember that that's how a cash offer works, and that's why it's beneficial to homeowners out there. So either or, this or that, what works for you? You are the homeowner, it's your property, your choice. You do what works best for you.